Hey folks, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Memoriapolis, a new fascinating city builder that entered early access just last week, and this combines elements of games you're familiar with like SimCity with Civ, which is going to allow us to advance our city throughout the ages. Really cool, ambitious idea. Now, if you have not seen the previous video, this is all going to be very confusing for you, and I recommend you go back and watch that. But we did build up this city in the Age of Antiquity, and now we are ready to roll over into the Middle Ages. And this is where we are going to see our score and make a few tough choices. So 28 cycles are going to be transferred over. We can actually see here that we have a lot of things that we constructed during this era, more than any other YouTuber I've seen. I feel pretty good about how we performed there. We have another follow-on event with Macedonia. The Greek cities are powerful, and Mithridates is wanting to conquer Rome. Do we assist him, or do we betray Rome? Well, do I want citizens or blueprints? Citizens are good, but I think I kind of want blueprints so I can very quickly adapt into the next era. So we're going to pick that one up. Our score was almost perfect. Very, very strong performance there. And now we also have a new leader that is arising in our city. We could go for a plan with any of the factions, whatever that's going to mean. I think that has to do with urban planning when we get that. Also, more trust with different factions. I think I had more military factions than anyone else, so this makes sense. We could also go with, let's say, a production plan or something. This actually does reduce trust in the amount of trust we would have gotten from the military faction, but we get an extra plan. I have to imagine that's good. Let's go with, you know what, let's go with military and our politics plans. That sounds fine. Also, most of our buildings are about to erode in time. We get to choose 4 that are going to advance, plus the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus is going to preserve a few more. So we gotta pick a few buildings that keep our satisfactions high. I'm gonna go with a few things here that seem pretty decent, with a good mix of stuff. Also, I want to keep the arena just because I think it looks cool. That seems fine. Now we choose another perk for our destiny. At this point, we can pick up one of the different perks that we missed out on last time, or we can double down on politics. Cost of corruption is reduced by 50%. I don't know what this does. But if it lets the factions do what I tell them to, I'm going to say that this is pretty good. Let's pick it up. And thus begins the medieval age. Okay, so the Middle Ages here, we have to place down a new city center. Now this may feel a little bit weird, because we already have a city center, but this is staying put. Now we need new stuff. I could spread way out over here, and that would be an option for us. But if I want to keep the attraction really high, what if we place down over here amongst all these wonders? Yeah, then that people really want to move in over here, right? I don't know if this is the right call, but it's the call I'm going with. Let's just go ahead and place that down. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Now, I know we are about to need a stupid number of resources, like an absolute freaking ton, because that is one of the trade-offs of entering into the new era. We're going to get a lot more attraction. In fact, you can see the medieval city center is giving 2,000 attraction. But I also am going to need thousands of resources. So before we progress any further, let's go ahead and start placing down a lot of farms, because our food is about to hit a crisis. We're going to have an explosion in population. 3 more level 2 farms feels like the minimum of what I want. I also need to get more cutting camps for logs, so as many as possible. And we'll even clear out some space here, chop down the dense forest to make room for growth. Plus, let's make sure we get some more quarries. And that'll have to do for the moment. Okay. Now, I do want to spend some blueprints getting a few upgrades, because we haven't done this yet, but upgrades for things like the cutting camp, like the quarries and stuff. This is going to help me quite a lot for getting more resources. However, we do need to keep in mind our cultural buildings. Now, notice that most of them did fall into disrepair, as we have seen. Some got preserved, but not everything did. We can repair these in some way. It would cost us a lot of resources to do this. You can't demolish the building. So if you want to keep it, you're going to have to spend some resources. And the longer you let this stay in disrepair, the more expensive it's going to become. So you kind of want to go fast. But the main reason you want to do that is because some of these buildings have the ability to evolve. So we take a look at the Scala over here. This would be able to evolve into a liberal arts class. It would cost a lot of resources, but presumably we would be getting a very good value out of this old building. Same thing is true over here with this Statio, which could evolve into a citadel. Again, costing a lot of resources, and I imagine we're going to have to go down like maybe 2 levels through a lot of the cultural buildings, which, by the way, got completely reset. Everything is new for this era. Ooh, let's go ahead and unlock this small mine here, by the way. I feel like that's a pretty good thing. Now we can start mining iron and gold. If we take a look up over here, we can see we have lots of little iron deposits all over the place. And for gold, It's a little bit harder to find, but there's some around here for sure. We'll immediately get some gold online, and we can always transition over to some iron if we need to later. Okay, and let's go ahead and move things further along. We should see some new medieval housing districts getting built up over here, which is cool. And I've spent a lot of resources at this point to go ahead and make sure I can produce as much wood and stone as possible. Good. Whoop, it looks like we just ran out of food. I told you this was gonna happen. We were gonna have a sudden explosion in the expectations of our people. That's why I placed down 3 of these farms. I've got them going up to level 2. We should start seeing our food go up from here on out. I think with 3 farms we'll be okay. I think. New faction wants to join, the Alchemists. Nice. Okay, sure. They're probably gonna be fine. They like libraries and universities. Unsurprising. By the way, apparently building this ruin after the fact, this is not in disrepair. Huh. Weird. Okay, we'd be able to evolve this into a hospice. Ooh, and we have our first round of events, the fall of Constantinople. Okay, so the Ottomans are besieging the Byzantines, and the Timurids are moving in on from the east. Who do we support? Well, you get food. I mean, that's something. Support the Ottomans, or get a bunch of new stuff, iron and steel. I think that I am going to barricade myself. I don't know who's going to win, but I want to be able to defend myself when we probably get betrayed by somebody eventually. Anyway, let's go to our medieval city center and get this thing upgraded to level 2. I'm also going to quickly get an upgrade to our architectural office. I know we're going to need a lot of blueprints. I feel like the faster we pick this up, the more opportunities we have for this to pay for itself, so it's going to be worth it. Chapter 1 complete. We now have unlocked the Master Builder's Office, the Library, and the House of Grievances. Grievances is going to get us extra decrees. The Master Builder Office will do urban planning rules. Library gives me know-how. I don't know what that means, but it's a thing. There would also be another building called the Belfry. However, this is not available in early access, so this is going to come later, but it would allow us to launch raids on barbarian camps, which tells us at some point this game is going to have some sort of military operation, which is interesting. Anyway, I'm progressing on my resources as fast as I can here. In order to get the next round of services, I need almost 1,500 blueprints. Ouch! Well, in the meantime, I guess we just go ahead and repair what things we can. We can get the Federated into our city, a political faction. Sure, we should have extra trust with them. And Constantinople apparently has a little reprieve. The Ottomans have to deal with the Timurids. We could support Constantinople and get a little bit better resources than last time, or support the Ottomans. All right, we have to pick a side. Well, I'm going to go for Constantinople. I'm sorry, it's Byzantium, all right? We got to support Byzantium. I swear I'm not a Byzantophile, except maybe just a little bit. What kind of trade can I do? I wouldn't mind buying some stone. We also appear to have lost almost all of our trade routes. Fascinating. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get a new route with, let's say, Burka. It spends a lot of money in order to get some stone. That's fine. Stone right now appears to be my main bottleneck, so I just want to have a lot of it. Oh, and we do now have enough blueprints, so let's get the House of Grievances, since that is what I'm supposed to get next, apparently. And for this, I need a lot of sand. Ouch. All right, time to start upgrading more quarries. Skinners in my gates. Sure, we'll have them join. That's fine. Yersinia pestis. Oh, it's the Black Death. All right. Well, we can lose health and safety. Is this... we lose 25 for each cycle for 50 cycles, or total? Because if so, that's not that bad. We can also spend education points, which we have accumulated, in order to get our own cure. Sure, why not? Let's just go ahead and get a cure to the Black Death, and Constantinople falls again. Do we continue supporting the Byzantines? Or 400 precious stones? Ooh, it's getting mighty tempting. Mighty tempting, but I'm gonna stick with Constantinople. You cannot dissuade me! I love my Byzantium! Alright, House of Grievances. Let's get this sucker built, finally. Where can I fit this? Anywhere? Sure, right over here amongst all the new stuff. This should be fine. We'll build that up. I don't really need any more satisfaction. You can see this is going to get me a lot of value here. Let's go for safety and belonging. That makes sense. I also want to get the Master Builder's Office. I think we have enough gold and stuff by now. We definitely do. I just need to get more sand. Yeah, we need an absolute ton of sand. We need so many things. So many things. All right, Yersinia pestis 2. Looks like we were able to recover from the Black Death, and it wasn't even that bad. Nice. Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. We actually can totally build this right now. All right, let's do that then. Camp place in the dense forest. Yeah, we don't have a lot of room to expand over there, do we? It's fine. Let's see if we can fit this right in over here next to the Library of Alexandria. We'll focus on safety, creativity, and belonging this time around. Sure. Okay, Chapter 2. We now have access to the glazed pottery, stables, abbey, musteur, wheelwrights, and manors. Yeah, lots of cultural buildings. I have nowhere near enough blueprints to get everything. And this is one area where I'm like, can I please have a second architectural office? You're dangling all this cool stuff in front of me, and I only have so many turns to do all of it, but I can't get enough blueprints fast enough. Dang it. Also, some of these take a lot of people to work. 104 to work the manor? Yikes. And we don't even have a lot of room to place it. Oy vey. And I think the game just crashed. Well, that doesn't bode well. This has actually happened to me a couple of times. I had to scrap a couple of recordings to get this going. Very frustrating. Fortunately, we do have autosave features turned on, so that certainly helps. I don't know if part of the problem is that the game just doesn't understand what to do, like if it's going too fast or what's happening. It seems to be only when you place a building and then it gets confused. All right, new feature unlocked, the urban planning rules. If we select a district, like let's say this one right here, we could make some changes. Why would we do this? Let's find out. We could deliberately go back to other types of districts, so less population and stuff. I don't see any reason to do that. We could create more empty space intentionally in some districts. Again, I don't know why I'd want to do that. And then do we have only inhabitants, or do we allow some wanderers? I imagine this functions a little bit like, I don't know, let's say a tourism district or something like that. So if we have more of these wanderers being included, like we do have 317 wanderers. If there's a lot of attraction, maybe they'll even join me. So let's try messing with this. It'll cost a little bit, but let's give it a go. We lose some of our own personal population. And now, because we messed with this, we actually do have access to some goldsmiths and some forges, okay? Things to do with my gold and with my iron. Why would I want to change the rest of these? I'll be completely honest, I don't know. We could go to these districts and say, hey, stop being antiquity and go ahead and upgrade to the Middle Ages. But I feel like they're doing this kind of on their own as is, so let's just leave it be. As for the House of Grievances, we have 6 political parties involved right now, most of whom do like me. Whoa! Bonuses and penalties. Well, this has changed. It seems like at least with some of these factions we're looking pretty okay. Step 1, decrease in decree costs and stuff like that for various different types of decrees. New workshops? Drainage workshops? Sure, yeah, that's all cool. But I'm pretty sure if we ever get down here to 0, my city will be defeated, so we can never allow any of these factions to become so angry that we lose the game. Interesting. Well, I want to vote on getting new blueprints. That seems useful to me. Let's vote on this. For a very long time, I want 300 cycles of 15% extra blueprints, please. They'll probably say yes, right? It's like a 76% chance. Yeah, everyone voted for it. I know, it's obvious, isn't it? All right, a little bit more blueprints. That's good. Anyway, let's go ahead and try building our manor. Feels like we need to have this, just for prestige, if nothing else. There's really not many places I can put it, to be honest. We have too much dense forest. All right, fine. So with the manor built, we could go for more satisfaction. Again, nothing really feels like we're struggling right now. We're doing great on satisfaction across the board, so don't worry about it. And we seem to have run out of some resources. Clay is gone. Boo. You know, I don't know why it says that we were about to run out of resources and then immediately also says we were out of resources. Like, just tell me up front. Tell me up front that we're out of resources. I'll believe you. Or at least warn me properly ahead of time. Come on, help me out here. Fall of Constantinople. Okay, Giovanni Giustiniani has answered your call. All right, so we have the mercenaries. We can sabotage the Ottomans or finally betray the Byzantines, but they're not paying me as much as they used to, so now we're just going to stick with this. All right, let's go ahead and place a library. Please don't crash, please don't crash. Okay, so far so good. Oh, where can I fit this? Now, this is where the roads start getting kind of annoying. Like, I'd love to place it in places like this over here. I'm not allowed. Oh, whatever. Let's get the library up and a-running. We have a new faction, the Copyist Monks. Sure. And Constantinople appears to have just been resolved. Absolutely nothing came out of it, but I clicked on that too fast. I apologize. There's the library. Okay, it looks great. Now we have something here called know-hows. Cultural buildings are going to allow me to start getting new stuff. So that means we really need to start building those. Oh, what's this? Treaties over here. Okay. Loss of political authorities' trust, minus 10%. This know-how will do what... Okay, so all we do is just reduce how much trust we can lose from people, I guess. I mean, yeah, okay. I'll activate it? The know-how was never obtained. Oh, the watermill. Wait, what? Oh, it just went up over here somehow. Okay, we can have 10 points. Ah, that's how this works. We have 10 points to spend, and then this costs 3. So you'll have to mix and match based on what you think you're going to need. Also, Jeezums, we are once again getting completely run out of food. Ah! No, don't crash again! God! Ugh. Alright, at this point I have now reloaded my entire computer. We will see if that fixes the problem. So, what is this? Save or destroy Constantinople. I think I already... Wait, I already did this, didn't I? No, wait, really though. I think I already did this. Maybe we will find another event, but I literally had a part 5 where it said that there was nothing left to do. I think. Starting to feel like maybe there's quite a few bugs in this particular age. Which, that would be very disappointing if so. Also, I am constantly getting murdered on food. Alright, it is time to get an upgrade for my farms. Go for level 3. Oh god, it's expensive too! Aye! Well, doesn't really matter, we're just gonna have to go with it. I don't actually understand totally what happened. I literally reloaded the game after rebooting my computer, and all of a sudden we started consuming an extra 360 food per cycle. Like, what? Oh, wait. Nope. All of a sudden it just registered that I did, in fact, deal with... I knew I had! I don't understand why it took a second, but it did. Okay. Chapter 6 rewards. Windsor Castle, Notre Dame, and Oxford. Ooh. Which one do we want here? An additional choice for family interludes or increase the size of all safety zones. That's more borders with which to build, basically. Which is really quite nice. But I mean, come on, it's Notre Dame. It's like one of literally the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen in my life. I have to build Notre Dame. It is extremely unclear to me how you evolve buildings, by the way. This is just like one of those little things that I think would benefit from a bit more information in the tutorial here. You need to unlock the next level of this building in the buildings tree to upgrade it. Okay. But when you say buildings tree, what I assume is you mean here in, like, the cultural buildings. And you know what I don't see? A citadel. So, like, how do I get it? Do I have to unlock the castellum, and then somehow that unlocks it? Nothing here actually tells me. Well, I'm getting what I can, so now we have things like dungeons and stuff built. Like, do I need to build something in particular in order to get this? I don't know. Hey, let's get the goldsmith up and running. I would like to be able to start refining my gold into gold leaf. And with gold leaf, I will be able to get an upgrade for even more blueprint production. Maybe... Wait a minute. Oh, wait. I can still go back to the Antiquity Age. Can I go to the Stadio and... Oh, no. Wait, maybe? Wait, no, wait. Hey, Stadio plus unknown gets the Citadel. Stadio plus unknown. What, like what? What can I get? Some of these things are revealing themselves. So, for example, the Ergastarian can become Butcher's Mail with the Real Right Workshop and the Herbal Merchant. So, it looks like these need to stick within... Well, let's see. Yeah, spices and wheelwrights. Wheelwrights? That was, what? That was... Okay, so it actually does transcend, or jump between different categories. It doesn't need to stay within itself. But still, if I got a spices trade and then I got wheelwrights, I'd be able to go for upgrades. So somehow, I still don't know what it takes to upgrade to a citadel. So this isn't an option. Whereas a Scala, for example, hold on... We've discovered that has to be paired up with an Episcopal school. Okay, so now I know if I want that evolved, I have to get this. For 2,500 gosh dang blueprints? Oh gosh, I don't know how the heck you're supposed to have enough. I feel like you need to get new territories running at all times and literally rush a max upgrade for the architectural office. Alright. Anyway, we have a new decorative building. The Parvis. It's very, very tiny. So I can place it wherever I want. Whatever, we'll come back to that. Let's go for level 3,000 for the architectural office upgrade. Oh my god. Whatever, let's buy it anyway because I need it if I'm going to get enough blueprints to even have a chance to do anything in this era and eventually the next era. I have to do this. The Knights Templar. Too bad I can't build the belfry, huh? But we can get our upgrade to the architectural office. Alright, that's max level, level 4. It doesn't get any better than that. We can even upgrade our medieval center again, since we have 5,000 population plus. Let's do it. And if I want to get Notre Dame, which I do, it's going to be very expensive to do. And what was the other wonder? Oxford University, that's right. Okay, and that costs another 3,600 blueprints to build. Wow. All right, yeah, cool. It's good though, right? It's got a lot of satisfaction value, jeez. Anyway, I wanted to try getting the Episcopal School unlocked so we can experiment with this and find out how an evolution is going to work. But there's not a lot of space for it because, again, dense forests. Yay. But whatever, we've got a place for it. That's done. So if I go over here now to the Scola, I can repair you. That'll take 65 turns to do, but we should have all the other requirements completed. Discovered the Arsenal. I wonder if that's what it takes to upgrade the Statio. Nope, still have no idea. I'm starting to think you just basically place down literally everything you can and just go with it. Oh gosh, dang it, we're out of food again. You gotta be kidding me! It's fine. Level 3 farms will do the job. Okay, so the Scola is now ready to get upgraded. That's pretty costly, but fine. Gets a lot of satisfactions. Also, various improvement options. This building generates blueprints. I mean, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so there are good reasons to evolve things then. That's very compelling. With that in mind, I think I need to get myself a church, because I should be able to repair my temple and then get that upgraded to a basilica. Any other know-how that I can unlock? Yes. What about printing? Generation of blueprints increased. Yes. And you might be wondering, why don't you go for the decree to get more blueprints again? Because there is a cooldown on this, unfortunately. I'm not going to be able to do this for another 400 cycles. Yeah, that sucks. Let's go ahead and pass other decrees, like metalworking for extra processed resources. Well, I do think it is probably time for us to go ahead and build Notre Dame. As far as where it goes, I mean, we could place it over here in this dense forest with the expectation that I'm going to start tearing all these trees down, and eventually this becomes a really good spot for some expansion. I'm tempted to do this just to kind of claim this territory, and then it'd be very easy for me to set up some proximity stuff and then build in this area. Alternatively, we go build up over here. And this might actually be a better spot, kind of. Yeah, I actually think I kind of like this positioning better. Alright, build Notre Dame. Blueprints are flying in now. What else could I really make use of here? Well, let's go ahead and unlock Oxford University. I would like to build it. And here comes the crash again. Oh my god! I think I just lost like 100 cycles of progress or something like that. Freaking heck. That said, cultural influence continues to grow. We are now a bishopric. Courtil as a new type of decorative building. Okay, these could be, I guess, useful. How's our attraction looking? Generally really good. People would love to build over here if I didn't have a bunch of farms in the way. And I'd love to tear those down. I really would. But we have dense forest everywhere preventing me from doing very much. Still, if I were to build some more of these surveying cuts over this direction, we could get some more farms down. And with more farms, I could take this apart and open up space to build within the city. I believe we can also upgrade our ramparts. There's no real reason to do this right now, except I guess you just make more money, and you get more culture points with no consequence. Interesting. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do it. I'll bet you it looks nice. There we go. Alright, now we can go ahead and demolish this. I guess we didn't technically have to demolish the whole thing. We could just demolish the areas that people care about, but whatever. This is all space within the walls. It's worth more stuff to me. And by the way, the walls do look a little bit upgraded. Kind of nice. I'm definitely making use of trade more often to buy the things that I'm currently lacking. We're pretty decent at making money. And I know it costs a lot to keep buying all this stuff, but I don't feel like waiting around to get things like my tiles and stuff produced, you know? And by the way, there we go. Instantly, we're seeing some houses getting built. Well, let's quickly get a church in here before people take up all the useful space. And there we go. With that taken care of, can we repair the temple? Gosh dang, I need so much more clay. I also feel like I'm kind of struggling to keep my population high enough. Like, that's the weird thing. I can barely keep track of my population and how much food I need. It's growing super duper quickly. But I also still need to keep getting more workers, otherwise I can't get things like Oxford University or any of the other good stuff. What is this, by the way? A prospecting workshop, find hidden resources. I don't know where I got this, but okay. Potentially, wow. Can potentially find a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't need it right now, but like, cool. Anyway, the biggest issue for me in terms of timing is just that I can't seem to get my workers to build up fast enough for everything I want. But once I get Oxford University, honestly, like, what's left? What else do I need to worry about? That's the big thing, and everything else should be a much smaller population. So once we get past this next hurdle, I think it'll be okay. All right, Oxford. Do we do the same thing and place it down over here that I have been talking about earlier? I guess we could. Seems like kind of a weird spot for it, but it expands my borders in a pretty good way. Sure. Who doesn't like a university that's completely surrounded by dense woods? What other know-hows might be worthwhile? We could go for tiled stoves. Production building reserve. Oh, that would actually solve some of my storage issues. That could be useful. Draperies, belonging requirement for 100 people minus 10. Well, I don't really care about that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Sure, more reserve. Let's go ahead and get some evolutions from a templum into a basilica. And what new improvement can I get? Increase of 50% in building satisfactions. This particular building, that doesn't seem like it's actually that much. Cost of maintaining this building is reduced for all ages. Factions joining a neighborhood and gain extra trust. Attraction generated increased. Meh. I don't know. None of this seems that useful, actually. I guess I'll go for Aura of Trust. That can never hurt you, right? We've also gained more cultural influence. I'm up to level 5, a town. I'm sorry, you call this a town? You look at this and you call this a mere town? I'm insulted. Okay, our first wonder is done. There is Notre Dame, built in the middle of freaking nowhere. Looks nice, though. Now, technically, there's nothing else for me to do, except to finish out the age and thus end my early access experience. Let's go ahead and get our upgrade to level 4 for the medieval fortress, which should get me even more range and attractiveness. Look at the range, actually. I can build all over the dang place. Why was there a ruin over here that I had not discovered before? No idea. We'll repair it. It's, gosh dang, another... Can you give me other things for once? Please? Just delete these. I don't even want them. I don't even want them. Just get rid of them. Well, in the meantime, building out over here close to Notre Dame with a couple of extra things like the ropery and all this attraction apparently is drawing in some new districts. So we are starting to expand the city in a third direction now. That's kind of cool. We'll also evolve a hospice over here. That one's relatively easy to do. I do sometimes kind of wish there was a little pop-up that said, hey, you can upgrade this thing now. That would have been helpful. I also will say I like that if you look at this building here, the hospice does take clearly from the graphics of the Asclepium, or whatever you call it, but it does have a few changes to it. So it actually does look like an evolution of a building. That's kind of cool. What other kind of know-hows have I unlocked? We could do carting. Less disturbances from production buildings seems pretty good, actually. Navigational compass, tabards, not implemented yet. I guess we'll go ahead and pick up carting, sure. Advance to the last rank. We are officially a queen of cities. Bada bada boom. Success. It's because we finished with Oxford University. And there it is. And now I have building range over here. Time to start knocking down all the dang trees. There's too many of them. Especially since I am literally going to die from a lack of food soon. Where did I suddenly get this huge jump in population? Now I've got 270 people. I couldn't get enough all of us. Okay, whatever. A minute ago I couldn't get enough, but all of a sudden, there they are. We found them. Whatever. Health may be going down, but in just a moment, we're about to solve the problem. Now I'm about to have more food than I know what to frickin' do with. We're fine. Everyone calm down. So at this point, I guess with my last couple hundred cycles, I'd be trying to build as many of these various different buildings as I can. Get whatever last-minute evolutions are possible, and also just basically set myself up to get more evolutions. Because once you haven't, like, if you haven't researched and placed these things before the next age, you never get to. So cool, I've got a guild. If I haven't built one, it doesn't matter if I figure out the combination, I'll never get to evolve. And this is where, as the ages progress, this gets more and more complicated. Let's get the final upgrade to our medieval fortress. Boom, so that's now maximized. And with 10,000 blueprints, frickin' heck, I guess we really might as well just unlock everything now, right? Let's get a barracks placed down, because I know that if I get that, I now will be able to upgrade the statio. I found the freaking evolution, which we will upgrade now and get, what? I guess extra safety or attraction? Safety it is. And thus ends the early access. I was like 2 turns away from finishing the Citadel, gosh dang it. Oh, well, okay. So at least you get a good idea how this game is going to work. Yeah, it's interesting how relatively simple the first age really is, but it does get a lot more complex, especially with the evolutions. It makes you want to build pretty wide and get a lot of things right in the first age, so you'll have a lot of options in the second. But as we found, I mean, considering how expensive everything is, you really still have to pick and choose quite a lot, and I imagine this only gets more complicated when we get onto the third age. Still, let's take a quick look at our score. Our middle age score right here was 87. So we didn't quite get a perfect score here. Did great in the first age, did good in the second, 183 out of 200. That is solid for me. I think it's a really, really cool idea for a game. Now, again, there's some things that I think will need to be improved, whether that be just general resource balance, or even little things like the dense forests can really screw over your ability to properly build, which gets a little irritating at times. We had a lot of crashes, blah, 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 but overall, I'm very happy to see how well the city continued to evolve the longer I played. You know, it felt like it really was organically growing and modernizing in some pretty awesome ways. I think the game has a lot of potential. I'm curious to see what will happen when it gets into the Age of Renaissance and the Age of Enlightenment, but that is something that will be coming down the road a bit in the future. Thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you found this entertaining and helpful in some way. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.